Hey everyone, thanks so much for joining us today. I am so excited to have my dear longtime friend back to early days when we were interns, when we were early days back at Nike. And this is Natalie White, who is now interim president and COO of the LA Sparks. Welcome, Natalie. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Shauna, and thank you for having me. Pleasure to be here in the midst of all things going on. It's always good just kind of take a break and have a great conversation.
Yeah, and you have a lot going on. You are middle of your preseason. You've got your home opener May 14th, big
Mhm.
game coming at you.
Right,
So
right.
excited for the season. It's got to be a busy time. I see that board behind you.
Yeah, just aboard. I'm in the office today, just buttoning up some things for our preseason game that's tomorrow. And then, just kind of coming in to kind of get prepared for next week when we have our home opener versus Dallas. So very, very excited. So lots to do, but this is sports and you just get it done.
Absolutely. So tell us, you definitely didn't get to that seat overnight. So give us an idea of what your evolution has been.
Ooh, let's see. Well, I'll start out by saying, when I, attended Florida A&M University, I knew and graduated from Florida A&M University, bachelor's and master's from there in sports management. I knew that I wanted to work in the sports realm, and at the time I didn't know in what capacity, but I knew it would be sports because when I was in the fifth grade, I knew I wanted to go to college. I knew I wanted to stay active in sports if I didn't play professionally. So it started with the opportunity, at Nike with my graduate internship. And I'm kind of fast forwarding a little bit because, during the time when I was in high school and going through my career at Florida A&M, I constantly thought about it. What is it that I want to do once I finally finished playing in college? And I knew that I wanted to not only make an impact in the community, but through sports and my passion for working with youth. And so I was very fortunate and blessed to have an opportunity to get a graduate internship, the Nike Adrenaline internship, that was in the WNBA through the marketing platform. So that really opened up my eyes a lot. Obviously, having the WNBA, and at the time, there wasn't a team in Atlanta. So I was just excited to learn. So
Mhm.
fast forward with after my graduate internship, when able to continue with Nike full time, was able to start out in the Econ role, as Nike spelled backwards, the eyes and ears of everything that's going on. So, and then moved on on the sales side, where I really learned a lot about leadership. Learned a lot about leadership, how to manage a staff, how to try to have a balance, work-life balance, if there is a such thing. But my passion still lies. I mean, I had the opportunity to work for the best, to me, the best sport and fitness company in the world. And through that, there was a great people, great mentors. I call my village. I had a lot of support along the way. So initially, my goal was I wanted to be a general manager. That was the initial what I wanted to do. And so after my tenure at Nike, I moved on to join the Atlanta Dream. So I joined the Atlanta Dream in the capacity of running the sales area. So I was at sales at Nike. So I was like, okay, how hard, could this be? Man, it's nothing like it. With the WNBA, and ticket sales, and it's just a different beast.
Yeah.
But it's very, very rewarding. A lot of people say, how is that so? You look at the opportunities that you get to spend with the young girls and boys, and how you're able to impact their lives, how you're able to introduce them to our players who are phenomenal and who love being role models. So we're able to teach and we're able to nurture and really help these kids develop. So that was aligning my passion for sport and my passion for inspiring youth. And I felt that the WNBA was a great fit for me. So I still had that burning, itch of, with the basketball operations side. So I pretty much after maybe like the second or third year, because I ended up 9 seasons with the Atlanta Dream, I became the VP of basketball operations. So I was able to really dive in more about what I thought I wanted to do. But through this process, I was able to learn a lot about each and every department. I had a working knowledge have a working knowledge of every single department within the WNBA, whether it was ticket sales, marketing, community relations, public relations, sponsorship, all these things. So as I continue to learn more, I just thought, you know what? I think my path would be kind of, being president, really being president. And
It's
fast forward
incredible.
to the opportunity here, when the prior president, Danita Johnson, was with the Sparks and she left and went on, to the NBA. There was an opportunity to become senior vice president of the Los Angeles Sparks. And, I kind of thought about it, talked to my mom a little bit about it. And it was just, I'm a person that I really go off of my gut and my instincts. And
Mhm.
I felt that it would be the right fit for me as I continue on my career path in sports management. So here I am. It was pretty much, just really, really sticking to kind of what makes me happy, what makes me get up every morning. And I also oftentimes tell my staff, every morning that I get up, I'm excited about what I do. And I
Yeah.
get up every morning, not like some other people, like, oh man, I got to go to the office, or I got to do this. I get up every morning like, woo, let's go, let's go. And I'm very excited about it because I know that I'm blessed to continue to do the things that I want to do.
Yeah.
And I know that's not the norm. I know that's
Uh-huh.
not the norm. So here, I get to lead an incredible staff, very, very talented staff. Culture is phenomenal.
Oh,
So, and it was able to kind of morph and build into a very, very promising team here. So very, very excited about, the senior vice president role when I entered my fourth season here now as interim president and COO. It's just day to day. It's just day to day. That excitement still exists, and I'm very fortunate to be in this position.
well, that's incredible. I mean, the culture is definitely a reflection of who is leading, but also who comprises those seats on your team. So, it says a lot about you and your leadership. And I'm going to dip back for a second because in your
Okay.
evolution, you very humbly did not mention your time at Florida A&M. You were a four-time All-American. You still hold the NCAA record for steals as a freshman. So I was thinking about this. I was like, man, she was a baller on the court and off the court in, in business. And so I think about this a lot, and I think there's a lot of parallels between leading as an athlete and leading in business. And so I'd love for you to share with us any thoughts that you have about that.
Yeah, I mean, at Florida and them, they were I set a lot of records, and at the time, I'm just playing, being excited to be a leader among my team as the point guard. And those every time it was like, okay, you about to break this record, about to do. I led the nation in steals 3 out of 4 years. I
Wow.
was there. I love defense. I love defense. Very, very passionate about it. And everybody else was worried about scoring, which I did as well. But defense really, really was something that it was challenging, and
Mhm.
it made me. I was very excited to just to compete.
Yeah.
So I think that that competitive edge, that translates to business because in the business sense, you have to stay on our toes. You have to try to stay one step ahead and be able to be in the conversation. Not being afraid to compete, not being afraid to speak up. And I think that the confidence, I was a small guard, but I would drive to the basket knowing that, I may land on my feet or I may land on my back, but at the same time, I was just determined, and those are some of the things that I think, playing sports really, really put me at an advantage on the business side because, I think I go back to that word confidence. It's not, that self-confidence and knowing that you can do anything that you put your mind to. I think that really resonated once I got to college. Because you hear people tell you, you can do anything that you want to do, you put your mind to it. But until you hit those rough patches, it
Yeah.
doesn't really resonate until you kind of go through some things and you know what, I can. And that would lended me to, pretty much doing some of the things that I do in the community,
Mhm.
and kind of my guiding principles, and those it's 10 principles that has guided me,
Okay.
through middle school, high school, college, and now in the business profession. I think back, it was it's my attitude, it was discipline, education. I love school. I tell kids, like, you gotta love to learn. I learn something new every single day. I mentioned confidence, having fun, working hard, have fun. That's one of my mottos. Respect, perseverance, then also leadership, and then teamwork. I'm big on teamwork.
Yeah, those are awesome. Thank you so much for sharing those. And resilience, I think, is one of those things that goes along with all of those things. So talk about having to be resilient in the year that you just have faced leading an organization. So facing COVID and the just monumental injustices repeatedly. And I have to tell you, it's been phenomenal to watch the WNBA players and the WNBA use their voices and really push through. And so what's it like to lead through that, and how are you leading, how are you managing to lead through that?
It's funny you brought up the word resilient, because that's like my word for the year. Back when, at Elizabeth Baptist Church, shout out to Pastor Oliver. That's our word for the year. And every time when things get difficult, sometimes you don't know how resilient you are. I've learned how resilient, our staff is here through the things that we've been through, going through the bubble last season, transitioning what we thought would be out of the pandemic, but we're still in the midst of it and trying to plan a season. We have an A, B, C, D, E scenario, because there's so many variables. There's so much that we don't know. But what we do, we stay in front of what we can control. We stay in front of what we control, and just know that, let our passion kind of guide us, and working together as a team. Conversation prior, I was talking about having, these subcommittees. We're very small. We have a staff of less than 25 people, but it takes everybody to understand what we need to do in order to move forward. And we are big on communication. So once you know what it is you need to do and you have to do, supporting your teammate, I believe in being very inclusive. Everybody needs to know. The right hand needs to know what the left hand is doing. And I think that's what has kind of guided us with it. And I think everybody is kind of open in regards to, if there was some challenges that they have, or, or they was like, okay, Nat, I'm going to do this, but I'm not sure if I'm doing it right. Hey, you're doing it. We're going to work together. So they're being resilient, I tell you, because we've been bending and bending and bending, but we haven't broke. We haven't been broken. And I think that's the key to it. Yes, we're tired. Yes, we've been working a lot long hours, but I say it's that passion that fuels you, and it's who you're working with as well. Like I said, we have a dynamic team, and that plays a huge part in it.
That's incredible. So does that have anything to do with I just actually noticed it today, your hashtag change has no off season?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So with change has no off season, we kind of wanted an opportunity to have this platform on our social justice pillars. We have 5 pillars, and social justice is one of them, because we go day to day, continuing to fight and wanting to make the progress. And you mentioned earlier about the players kind of stepping up and using their voices, and I admire them standing tall and speaking loud when they were told to shut up and dribble. So this is an opportunity for our players to use their voices. We're partnering with other community leaders to help expand our voices out to the community, and understand that we're standing united with you, and we're going to fight for pay equity. We're going to fight for equal justice. We're going to do all those things, and our players are leading the way.
Yeah. It's incredible that the amount that the league has changed during, from back from the time when you and I were in, was the early years of the league. And, I remember when people would say, "Are you on the team?" I'd laugh at that, but it's 25 years, right? So it's the 25th anniversary this year, which, what an incredible time to be a part of it. Well, what are you looking at? As I'm sure you're looking at lots of excitement, but also what are some of the special challenges or even opportunities that you're looking at for this big season coming at you?
Coming off of the WNBA, which average viewership was up 68%, social media increase was at 30%. So we have all these numbers to back up that we have more people interested in watching women's basketball and watching women's sports that people realize.
Mhm.
Obviously, we're looking, the challenge continues to be the support, the inequities in women's
Yeah.
sports coverage, just at 4%, 4% coverage and just 1% in sponsorship dollars. So that's the challenge. That's the challenge. And so people oftentimes they ask like, Nat, what can we do? What can we share with others? Invest in women's sports.
Yeah,
Investing in
absolutely.
women's sports. Support by buying season tickets. You know, share your experience, with your friends, with your family, with your colleagues, and come to a game. A lot of people who are in these conversations have never been to a game,
Yeah.
have never been to a game. So we're very excited for the companies, and our partners who are stepping up, and being examples and leading that conversation because we're making progress. We're not where we want to be, but we
Hmm.
continue to make progress. And you mentioned about, how when we came into the league, it was at its infancy and it was people doubted it. Hey, it won't last 10 years. It won't last this, but we've been able to prove that we're here and we're here to
Yeah.
stay. And we're here
Yeah.
to stay. And now it's time for people to start, this is a bandwagon that you want to be on, because it's
Absolutely.
exciting and you have no reason not to.
No reason not to, for sure. I was actually going to ask you, what can the industry do better or more for athletes or the game? And I think you just said it right there. And it's just straight up support women's sports and women in sport. And the equity part is so important. So that's a
Right.
great one. So I just am so grateful that you've spent this time with us today and you've shared so much with us. And I'm grateful for our connection over all these years and for all you're giving back to the game that I hold so dear as well. So we'll let you get back to planning your season. Want to wish you the best of luck this season and with your home opener. So everybody, it's tune in. It's Friday, May 14th, home opener against Dallas. So good luck to you, Nat, and thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. And for everybody, please follow us on social at LA Sparks and visit our website. We have a lot of exciting things going on for the 25th anniversary. So we hope that you guys are able to tune in and also support us as well. Thank you so much, Shauna, for having me.
Thank you, Nat.